And for more on this, we're joined by Tim Waterer in Sydney. He's Chief Market Analyst at KCM Trade. Welcome back to the programme, Tim. Now, is this just a matter of profit-taking for gold and silver, or has demand finally cooled off following that sharp rally?
Nice to be with you again. I think there's a number of factors at play here. Now, you mentioned the momentous rally that gold and silver have had year to date so far. So there is an element of profit taking involved. I think a lot of the downward moves we saw today were in response to the US dollar, which did have a rebound. That's usually a negative for gold and silver. And that's on rumours of who President Trump may pick as the next Fed chair. It could be a less dovish pick than some of the other candidates. So markets reshaped expectations about perhaps not being as many rate cuts this year, and that proved to be a negative for gold and silver. But having said that, I think there's enough geopolitical risk still around the place at the moment to mean that gold and silver will probably still be a popular pick for traders on any price dips.
Right, and meanwhile, President Trump is expected to announce the next Fed chair later in the day. Who are markets betting on, and what impact would that name have?
That's right. At long last, we'll get to see who the next the Fed chair nominee will be, at least. And markets are thinking at this point it could be Kevin Warsh, which, as I mentioned, that is sort of the least dovish of the shortlisted candidates. And that's a little bit odd in some ways because Warsh has advocated for a stronger dollar, and that sort of goes against the grain of what we heard from Trump this week, where he was taking delight in the weakness of the dollar. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, particularly as Warsh, he is seen as even more hawkish than the current Fed chairman, Powell. But I think when that announcement is made, we'll wait and see who it is. I think that's what's really going to drive markets. I think if it did turn out to be one of the other picks who would be more inclined to cut rates, I think that could cause a rebound in risk assets, maybe put the dollar in under some pressure and alleviate some of that downward moves in gold and silver, and perhaps allow for a rebound in precious metals.
All right, we will have to wait and see what Trump's announcement will be. Tim Waterer in Sydney, thank you very much as always.